And so yeah, we're sitting there, we're picking the car, we're sitting at my friend's apartment, and the vehicle's name gets called, and that was me who named the name, and my friends kind of like snapped out as we were all just zoning out in a way, and he zoned out in a huge way, and he just snapped like snapped out, and spontaneously, and all of a sudden, and that was me who said, "See, Volvo S80 vehicle, and we have it. At last, we have it." And we all just were just like awakened after surfing in internet for like, let's say, an hour and a half, and we like were zoning out while surfing the internet, and once the name got called, and by me, and named the trademark. I named the trademark. I named the model, which is to be definitely like Volvo S80 vehicle, and I named all the stuff that related to that. Just add, and we're just all pretty contented with finding that nice vehicle, and we did what? We didn't call that dude at the time because it was late evening, and around 10 p.m., and we just had a lot of beer because we found the advertisement about selling that nice vehicle, and actually we give him a phone call the very next moment of the tomorrow morning, and actually I headed home after we drank a lot of beer, and I spent night in my home, and a friend of mine called me around, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, and previously we'd had a deal that we would go there in that town because that vehicle wasn't in our city. It was around 100 kilometers from our city, and we had to head there in order to have that vehicle. And we did actually eventually, but we were ready for any eventuality, almost for any eventuality as for buying process of that vehicle. And beforehand, I called several friends of mine, two friends of mine, and I kind of told him into going with us in order to insecure the whole process of buying that vehicle, because we held in our pockets around 10 grams of bags, and that was pretty big, and just a pretty rather big sum for everyone here. Correct me if I'm wrong, and just for insecure the female not to be just worried about losing money, or maybe some shitty pricks might get onto our way while heading there and trying to take away our money. And for that not to happen, just I insecure the process by calling my two friends to go with us and to have a nice and just good company to go there, and to have a nicest banter ever while driving there, because we drove there by no, we didn't drive there actually. We had a bus, and we arrived there by bus and that town, and finally we made our way to the location, the location where we were all about to meet with that dude who was selling the vehicle. And that was like a presentation. There was like presentation of that vehicle. The guy said he he owned the thing for around 5 years, and that vehicle was in one ownership of that guy for already 5 years, and he was the second owner of that vehicle, and that was good sign, because that all kinds of vehicles always might have several owners, let's say around five from their previous backgrounds and live tracks. It might be not always like legal or something clear, but in our case it was completely clear that that dude owned the vehicle for 5 years, and he passed it to us. He sold it to my friend, and the deal actually took place, and we were not we, but the friend of mine was the new owner of that vehicle, and we all just were happiness about that point, and I raised the point, why not to go to the seashore with this nice new bought vehicle, and we were around to not just too close to the seashore, but we were around within the distance of 100 kilometers from the seashore, and we decided to prolong our way to the south and to make our complete way to the seashore, and to dive there, and to swim there, and to just maybe to have nice sun tone on our skins, new one, because we haven't had our time to that point of that summer to have our new tones on our skins. We were all just busy guys, and we worked a lot, and which I definitely do now, but I worked even more intensively, let's say, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. Physically I worked harder than I do work physically now. Now I use my brain, but at the time I was using my legs, arms, and brain and stuff, and not just only using my brain but all my body. And like I got sidetracked again, and we headed to the seashore. We had the nicest time there for about, I don't know, maybe 5 hours. We were basking under the sun, doing nothing, getting around in a silly way, and we were drinking alcohols like beers and stuff. And except of me, I drove. I was driving the vehicle, new bought vehicle of a friend of mine, because for the time being, a friend of mine didn't have his extended experience of driving any vehicles, and he wanted me to drive, actually, maybe just to hang out and to drink alcohols, and that was me who drove all the way here, there to the seashore and back to our home. And I was contented, actually. I didn't want to drink a lot. To drive a vehicle, especially nice ones, like a drug to me. It's like a drug to drive a vehicle and to have it in your arms, and to control it, to drive it, to do whatever you want with the accelerator, with the steering wheel, with the sunroof, and to drive it and to feel like it rolls the road very firmly, and just to have a good traction, to drive it in the right way into the turns, and to feel like it's turning along with your arms being on your steering wheel, and that all stuff is pretty cool and lit, even to not to tell but to feel it. I can't even tell how I'm so big on driving vehicles, and I've always been, actually. Once I've had my license, driver's license, I always been kind of guy who wanted to drive a lot, and I did, and that's why I agreed on that request to drive all the way to the town. We bought the vehicle and forward to the seashore and all the way back home, and I was completely just content about driving that vehicle. The vehicle actually had the road pretty firmly, and whatever you turn your steering wheel, it follows. It always follows the right track. It doesn't get sidetracked. As I admitted, and I just saw in my own eyes how was that vehicle, how was it cool about its driving abilities, and following the right track. Wherever you're about to steer it, to drive it, it follows, and that's cool vehicle, I'm telling you. And one thing about our being on the seashore, we were hanging there, we were doing nothing, we were just I don't know, trying to mellow out, because of that new vehicle being bought, and we were just getting around the vehicle and trying to find as many good pieces of it as we only could, and I found a lot of just features of it we didn't spot it for the very first time, but we spotted after some period of time, after we drove to the seashore, and the car was standing on the sand, and we were just observing it from the different angles. Literally, we were going in circles around it and observing it, and just having a lot of contentment observing it, because it was cool, the design is cool, the materials are cool, the color is cool, the general overall look of how the vehicle was inestimable. I can't even tell you how it was inestimable, and just cool in all the ways. And we were okay, we're sitting on the beach, we drink something, and a couple of my fellow friends, they were jumping on and off the fisherman boats, and we had there at the place plenty of fisherman boats, wooden ones, around 10 meters long, around 1 meter and a half of height, and they all were made of wood, covered with the black amber, and each of those had winch to be for being pulled to the seashore after they peered to the seashore, and they stick to their front part into the sand, and after that they arrived, and the fishermen, they pull them out of the water by using winches, huge ones, like like as big as me, maybe, those big winches they used, and all this stuff was just ingrained and full with its details, and how they do their lives, those fishermen, how they pull out those nice wooden made boats out of the sea, how they do that, how that all process happens in front of your eyes, and that just to the very origin of things you might know. If you don't know that, then follow the root of things and observe them happen in front of your eyes, and you'll be all the clearness about what happened, how that happens regularly. If you've never seen that previously, you'll probably be amazed and stunned with what you might be observing, because that real life, that's another part of life you've never seen before, and that happened in front of your eyes, and that stick to you so deeply that you will never forget it. Those wooden ones, boats with the wings on it, how they peered, how they were pulling out of the water, but those all not so well groomed fishmen, and all the stuff, their coats, their smell of fresh fish, and all the stuff itself, the fish being caught, laying in the bottom of those wooden made boats, and how they spread there on the bottom of the wooden made boat those big pile of fish they caught, and all this, like, once you reminisce it, it comes flutter all on your own like mind, and that thing comes again into your mind, and you'll just all memories about that. That's cool stuff to reminisce and to recall it wherever time you'll be doing that. That would be cool. I'm telling you, I've been there, I've done that, and probably it's not it about tonight. We made our way home safely because I drove, and I'm not the worst driver ever, as you might just I don't know, maybe as good as my driving as I'm good at my speaking missions here about my adorable English, because wherever you happen to be doing, if you like it, if you strive to do more about it, then you will be not so bad about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Natives, what would you think about that? give me, if you want, slightest feedbacks lines in the comment section down below if you want. And that's definitely it about tonight. And I might be drop some extra pieces about that story as soon as I appear on my channel here back again. As soon as I get my inspiration to speak, maybe it'll be like tomorrow evening. We'll see how it goes. If I don't die, I hope I won't. That's it about tonight. Keep practicing your English, and everything's gonna be fine with that. See you all until a while. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching my channel.